At the age of 12 years old, I passed for Bishop Anstey High School. At the time, I didn't have access to a laptop and my mom couldn't afford it. But thankfully to the UNC government, I was able to have access to one, and it was so much easier to not have to worry about sending in my assignments on time. And I'm so grateful. Thanks, Auntie Cams. When UNC wins, everybody wins.
I retired in 2002. When I retired, my pension was $1,000 from NIS. When Mr. Bissessar came into power in 2010, my pension rose to $3,000. Now I'm hearing PNM say, if you have money saved, they could take away your pension. I can't wait to vote UNC again. When UNC wins, senior citizens like myself win.
My son Josiah, when he was born, he was diagnosed with a life-threatening disease. And a friend told me about the Children's Life Fund. Thanks to Kamala and the UNC government for making it happen. He was given a second chance in life, and now he's in Form 5 and he's able to sit CXC. Take it from me, when UNC wins, everybody wins.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace. Vote for love. Vote for hope. Vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC, one love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins, everybody wins. Vote for peace, vote for love, vote for hope, vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins, everybody wins. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins, everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins, everybody wins. Vote for peace, vote for love, vote for hope, vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins, everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can restore hope, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who lead with love, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins, everybody wins. Vote for peace, vote for love, vote for hope, vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins, everybody wins. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace, vote for love, vote for hope, vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can restore hope, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who lead with love, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace, vote for love, vote for hope, vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace, vote for love, vote for hope, vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can restore hope, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who lead with love, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace. Vote for love. Vote for hope. Vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to
And
decide.
the exits are clearly marked. We are about to begin. At this time, I would like to ask you to please stand for the national anthem and prayer.
Forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand, highlands of the blue Caribbean Sea. This our native land, we pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Almighty God, most beneficial and merciful, Creator of the universe and embodiment of divine wisdom and light, we come before you with thanksgiving and praise. May your will be done in our nation as it is in the heavens. Please bless our political leader, party officials, activists, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us the grace to always see good, be good, and do good, and the courage to serve the people. Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country.
You can be seated. And once again, pleasant good evening, UNC family. Yes. Let me first of all acknowledge our former MPs, senators, NARTEX members, councillors. Pleasant good evening to all. "16 days to go. 16 days to go. Also members of the media, pleasant good evening. Members of the TTPS and Fire Service, good evening as well. Folks, we are the UNC. And we are ready. That's right. And we are indeed ready. I want to kick things off by introducing our first speaker for this evening, because we have a lot of good folks that are lined up for you. He has been in public life for the last 47 years, a retired electrical supervisor from Petrotrin, former councillor for the electoral district of Mayara, Guaguari, the recipient of BPTT Community Champion Award, and he's also currently the pastor of Mafeking Pentecostal Deliverance Center. You know him, folks. Please put your hands together and make some noise for Chairman of the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation, Mr. Raymond Cozier.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, for that warm welcome. Honorable political leader and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, executive members of the United National Congress, candidates, and special recognition to the candidate for the constituency of Mayaro, Brother Nicholas Morris. For soldiers of the United National Congress, members of the media, members of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and all who are tuned in on the live platform, good evening. Good evening, Mayaro! I am honored to stand before you on this platform to address you tonight, because it is time for change. Tonight I speak to the residents of the constituency of Mayaro, but I'm also speaking to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. We in Mayaro understand fully well that the only thing is constant is change. So we are ready to change. We are ready to be part of that great movement to change the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Because they have failed us, brothers and sisters. I want to remind the voting public of Mayaro that when the present government was seeking to get your support, they said more for Mayaro. 9 years later, we are still waiting to see the more. As a matter of fact, nothing was delivered to the constituency of Mayaro. There is nothing of any significance that we in Mayaro could identify that the present government did for us in Mayaro. So we say, the present Prime Minister is asking for more, another opportunity, asking for a chance. Well, you had 9 years in office. Anyone to be asking for a chance now should Congress. Our children cannot wait, because while the grass is growing, the horse is starving. Brothers and sisters of Trinidad and Tobago, don't be blinded. Don't be blinded by race, by class, by emblem, by color. Don't be blinded. It is time for change. We cannot love the government more than we love ourselves and our families. We are in a fortunate place and in a fortunate position, because we have seen the performance of so many before. We have seen the performance of deceased Patrick Manning. We have seen the performance of deceased Master Pandey. We have seen the performance of Dr. Keith Rowley and his partner, Stuart Young. And we have seen the performance of Kamala Prasad Bisesa, and none could compare. So we are ready to take informed decision that when we go to the poll on the 28th of April, we are comfortably, confidently voting the United National Congress for Kamala to be the next Prime Minister. After 9 years, brothers and sisters, after 9 years, there's nothing to show of what this government do, what is functioning in Trinidad and Tobago. Nothing is functioning. We in Mayaro, under a United National Congress, we could count our blessings. We could count our blessings under a United National Congress government. We could show fire station. We could show school. We could show police station. We could show indoor sporting facility. We could show library. But you know something? 9 years we left a library incomplete. And 9 years the PNM cannot finish the library in Mayaro. You still want more time? No! No! So, brothers and sisters, as we gather here tonight, we are saying to Trinidad and Tobago, it is imperative that we make a change. It's no if or but. It's imperative that we change. Brothers and sisters, when UNC wins, everybody wins. When Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa is in the office of the Prime Minister, she do not take a position that she would not do nothing in Lavantil, or she wouldn't do nothing in Labre. Because when UNC wins, everybody wins. She understands very clear. She understands very clear that when she sits in that position, she represents every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Brothers and sisters, Kamla Prasad Bisesa is no ordinary woman. She is a strategist. She is visionary. She has compassion. She cares. She has a heart that is big as Trinidad and Tobago. She loves young people and she cares about old people. Kamla Prasad Bisesa would have never entertained a conversation about removing senior citizen old age grant. That would have never been a conversation with Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. But this present government finding a way how to take, because their modus operandi is take, cut, close down, shut down, break up, mess up. Hallelujah. This woman, she is fearless. She don't afraid battle. She takes on anything. She knows when to attack viciously, and she knows when to withdraw graciously. Listen, this woman has a passion for human development. She is no ordinary woman. And after 9 years of bullying, after 9 years of disrespect, after 9 years of arrogance, after 9 years of humiliation, after 9 years of uncaring, after 9 years of lies and deceit, it is time for change. Mr. Pandey once said, when you see he and a lion fighting, feel sorry for the lion. Well, when you see Kamla and the tiger fighting, feel sorry for the tiger. Brothers and sisters, we in Mayaro stand solidly with Brother Nicholas Morris to be the next member of Parliament of the constituency of Mayaro. We have no doubt that Brother Nicholas Morris will be joining the political leader in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago to continue to work and to bring change to this country. So tonight, I know all of us are the converted. I know all of you here has taken the decision that you are going to support the United National Congress. But we are reaching out to those who have not taken the decision of who you want to support or who you're going to support. We tonight are reaching out to the undecided. Tonight we are reaching out to those who are standing on the fence, to those who are saying that they don't want to vote and you shouldn't vote, and all the reasons why you shouldn't vote. Tonight we are saying to you, it is time for change. So as I leave you tonight, count the constituency of Mayaro already won going into the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Long live Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Long live the United National Congress. Long live the people of Trinidad and Tobago. God bless us all.
Give it up one more time for the chairman of the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation, Mr. Raymond Cozier. I said it last week, and I'll repeat it for those who didn't hear. I am a black man. And I am UNC and proud. And that's why we have to stand on business. And Mr. Cozier is correct. We have a leader that shows compassion and love. Let's not play games here. They came out telling us that they were all in. When they realized there was no political traction, they came and tell us now it's a new chapter with the same old players. The same old players that recused themselves numbers of times from cabinet and had nothing to do with the interests of the people of this country. It was themselves, their friends, their family and finances. So what is the problem now that you play the race card? You say that the meetings seem to have too many black people. Well, I usually don't talk on behalf of all black people, but I can tell you about the right-thinking, patriotic black people. Just like the old colonizer, they have a problem. They have no problem when you're ignorant and you can make statements that mommy was this and daddy was that and I had to die that. That is not the problem. The problem is not when they settle for less. The problem is not that when they fill our heads with all this nonsense and we absorb it. That's not the problem. The problem is when we become conscious of the fact that this is our country and we deserve better. The problem with the slave master is that when we are armed with intelligence, then we realize who the real target is. The people who are really hindering our growth, who holding us back, who have done absolutely nothing for black people in this country. And that's the difference between the UNC and the PNM. Number one, we are led by the vision of our political leader, Kamla Prasad Bisesa. We are driven with the commitment and dedication to serve and of course, to go out there and deliver to the people. And most importantly, the UNC is engineered by love. That's important. Because when the UNC wins, and that is what the slave master has a problem with. It's okay to turn us against each other, but when we become conscious enough to understand that when we unite, we the masses can get what we want. And what we want is a bright future for our children and our children's children. We want to live better. We didn't sign on to this madness. Where did we sign on to this? When we read the fine print, it had nothing about 10 years of suffering. It had nothing about 10 years of depriving us from basic amenities. It had nothing about taxing us to debt and having us to pay all these bills. Because why? You have no idea, you have no plan, you have no program, you have absolutely nothing. And when you send mixed signals, you get mixed messages. The bald-head man said he didn't want the job, but he went to Lekoto to resurrect zombies for the same damn job he didn't want. We know you don't want it, and time is running out. Basically, it's about 15 days, because on April 28th, we know who will have that job. We know who deserves that job. We know who's going to give us the best of that job. We know Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the UNC. At this time, I want to call a seasoned environmental professional with over 12 years of progressive experience in environmental regulation, compliance monitoring and risk assessment. She has demonstrated expertise in ensuring environmental compliance across different sectors, inclusive of the oil and gas, construction and quarrying industries. Mayaro, UNC family, please put your hands together and welcome our UNC winning candidate and the next MP for Kamuto Manzanilla, Shivana St.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins, everybody wins. Vote for peace, vote for love, vote for hope, vote for change. When UNC wins,
Thank you very much, our Master of Ceremony. Good night, my UNC family. First of all, let me acknowledge with us here tonight our Deputy Political Leader, Ms. Jearlean John, Chairman of the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation, members of NATEX, other fellow candidates, and of course, our winning candidate for the constituency of Mayaro, Nicholas Morris. Tonight, as I look out at your faces, I see more than just constituents. I see my neighbors, my friends, and my family. Each of you represents stories of resilience, strength, and hope. You are the heartbeat of our nation. Tonight, I speak to you not as a candidate and not as an outsider, but as one of your own. A person who, having been born and raised in the constituency of Komoto Manzanilla, and who understands the deep-rooted challenges of our rural communities, just like the ones here in Mayaro. And on that note, let me take a moment to thank our honorable leader, Ms. Kamla Prasad Bisasa, for allowing young people like myself the opportunity to serve you, the people. Growing up in communities like these here in Mayaro, Rio Claro, teaches us many lessons. We learn that our strength is as fertile as the soil that we stand on. But despite our resilience, there are struggles that cannot be solved alone. These struggles demand leadership that truly listens and policies that truly deliver, like that of the UNC party. I stand here tonight committed to bridging the divide between rural reality and national progress with my fellow colleague, Nicholas. So what are the issues facing our communities? Picture this: a morning where every farmer wakes up knowing the land beneath their feet is securely theirs. Imagine a government committed to delivering not just empty promises, but dedicated support to boost your harvest and livelihoods. The UNC will empower you by ensuring fair wages for every worker through genuine collective bargaining. You deserve more than just mere survival. You deserve prosperity. Your hands have built our nation, and it is time your nation builds you up in return. For our rural backbone, our farmers, a UNC government is committed to land tenure for farmers to boost our agricultural sector, rural community development, and most importantly, employment. Education, what are our plans? Visualize your children walking into schools equipped with modern technology, stepping confidently into a world without limits. Our education policy direction manifesto spells out a transformative agenda, including universal screening and treatment of children between the ages of 4 to 6. And for rural communities like our own, this means modern classrooms equipped with laptops, reliable internet access, and learning materials that pave the way to a much brighter future. And that is what we need for our children. Our commitment is to leave no child behind. Nobody will be left behind, regardless of your religion, race, your social standing. Nobody will be left behind. Everyone will have the advantages of quality education, which will reach every remote country, every remote corner of our country. We've recognized that during our walkabouts, a lot of people are concerned about healthcare. What is the UNC's plan for healthcare? The UNC party believes that every person deserves not just prompt, but compassionate healthcare, a compassionate healthcare system. No matter how far from the city you reside, you should have easy access to healthcare. Our healthcare reform manifesto offers concrete solutions, such as fixing supply chain issues to prevent the shortage of drugs, equipment, and supplies. And also, we are proposing to implement a national health card for all resident citizens so that medical history follows you, ensuring faster and more efficient treatment anywhere in the nation. For you, or rural areas, or country areas, these measures mean a quicker response during emergencies, modern facilities in small towns, and a healthcare system that is accessible even when you live miles away from major cities. Crime, the biggest issue plaguing our nation at this time. What are we going to do at the UNC party? Our fight against crime is resolute and comprehensive. We envision neighborhoods united against crime, supported by effective laws and community-driven initiatives. From local patrols to robust community mediation, every effort will be made to create secure environments. Our plan is to be proactive, not reactive, building trust between citizens and law enforcement to foster genuine peace. As we are gathered here tonight, let us not forget that our strength lies in our unity. It lies in the resilience of mothers who, like myself, juggle countless responsibilities, in fathers who sacrifice and toil under the sun, in children who study by candlelight with dreams bigger than their circumstances. The UNC isn't just offering policies, we are offering a partnership with you, our citizens. A partnership that is based on mutual respect, sincere dialogue, and collective action. When the UNC wins, it's not just a political victory, it is your victory. A victory for your family, for your children, for your dreams, and for your community. Because we all know when the UNC wins, everybody wins. Thank you very much.
Everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace. Vote for love. Vote for...
Another round of applause for Shivana St, next MP for Kamuto Manzanilla. Mayaro, are you ready? Yes, I know you're here to witness your new incoming MP for Mayaro. Please tell, who is that? Who? You talking about the young man who's the former Commonwealth Youth Ambassador and Commonwealth Youth Parliamentarian? The young man that served as chairman of the UNC National Youth Arm from 2011 to 2015. The young man who served as International Relations Officer from 2015 to date. The young man who received his MBA in Oil and Gas Management. He achieved certificates in Parliamentary Management and Administration, as well as Parliamentary Procedure from the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Academy. Are we talking about the same person? Then there's no need for me to waste time. Mayaro, please stand and make some noise for your next MP, Mr. Nicholas Murray!
Them say yellow is the code. We going out the road. How you feeling? I want to know Mayaro. I want to see why
Mayaro, are you ready to remove the PNM on April 28th? Mayaro, are you ready to return Kamla Prasad Bisesa as your Prime Minister on April 28th? Tonight, you're out in your numbers because we are 16 days away from the most important decision that this country will have to make. In 16 days, we will choose between the crisis and chaos of Stuart Young or the compassionate, people-centered leadership of Kamla Prasad Bisesa. In 16 days, we will choose if we are to reject a decade of deceit, destruction, and disdain towards people by Stuart Young and the PNM, or if we are to choose the people-centered governance of Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Brothers and sisters, the time is now. For the past 10 years, you've waited for jobs, yet all you have received is 50,000 job losses. For the past 10 years, you have waited for prosperity, but all you have received is 7 fuel price increases and VAT on 7,000 food items. Brothers and sisters, for the last 10 years, they told you that they had no money to fix your roads right here in Mayaro. They told you they had no money to run pipes for water. They told you that they had no money for our workers. But on the eve of an election, the Prime Minister increased his own salary to 87,000 per month. Brothers and sisters, on the 28th, we must reject that. People of Mayaro, we must stand together. We must not be fooled. What you are seeing today is a cheap trick of political rebranding of Stuart Young and the PNM. Do not be fooled by the handshakes. Do not be fooled by the waves. Do not be fooled by Stuart Young. I want you to remember, in that team right now, it is the same Marvin Gonzalez who deprived you of water for 10 years, brothers and sisters. And they want your vote. It is the same Gadsby Dolly who did not build a single school in Mayaro, but they want your vote. It is the same Kazim Hussein who has not built a single access road for farmers in Navet or throughout Mayaro, but they want your vote. Tonight I tell you, when Patsy walks around, tell her no, you are voting for the United National Congress. Brothers and sisters, this is the same Stuart Young. You see, Mayaro, you have a responsibility to reject Stuart Young. I'll tell you why. Tonight we are joined by the legend himself, the leader of the OWTU. I want you to give him a warm welcome. Mayaro, and I speak specifically to Gwaya Gwayari. You have a duty to stand up to the PNM and Young, because it is this very same Stuart Young who has crashed the energy sector, who has crashed Galeota, and that has suffered Mayaro for the last 10 years. Brothers and sisters, tonight I want to tell you, the people of Mayaro deserve better than the PNM. Tonight I want to tell you that the people of Rio Claro deserve better. The people of Bish deserve better. The people of Navet deserve better. The people of Kildare, Mahabal Singh, Mafiking, Gwaya, Ottawa, all deserve better. The people of Newlands, Union, Bristol, Poole, Mora. Tonight I want to tell you, every single citizen from the Tabakit Road to Agustini to Kernaham, you deserve better. Do not be fooled, brothers and sisters. The people of Mayaro deserve a government that will offer opportunity to every single family, that will offer safety to every single community. The people of Mayaro deserve a government that will offer development to every single community. And that government, brothers and sisters, is the United National Congress. Tonight I want to tell you that I know your anguish and pain in Mayaro. I understand your hurt. I understand your sorrow. I understand your suffering, because I am a proud son of Gwaya Gwayari. Brothers and sisters, I I know what it is like to take a black man maxi from Ferrier Circle driven by Bobo to Mayaro because I am from Guayaguayari. I want to tell you, I know what it is like to wait in the health center for Dr. Rampal or Dr. Ali to come up in Guaya. I know, brothers and sisters. I know what it is like to sit at the Galiota Hill waiting for your father to come offshore. I am the son of a proud offshore worker, and today I want to tell you, it hurts my heart to see so many fathers cannot go and Galiota and get a day's work because Young has crucified and crushed the energy sector, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, I want you to know, I know what it is to have small resources, but you can still go by Ramkoon or Mr. Joe in Mayaro. I know, brothers and sisters, I know what it is like on Christmas when you make your small resources count and you go down to Monan's store in Rio Claro. Brothers and sisters, today I want to tell you, I am Mayaro and proud, I am UNC and proud, and I will fight for you. Brothers and sisters, Mayaro, you have a special duty on the 28th. This is no ordinary election. Mayaro, if there's one constituency that has been betrayed by Stuart Young and the PNM, it is Mayaro. Because Mayaro for many decades stood as one of the energy hubs of the Caribbean. Mayaro produced the oil and gas that took Trinidad and Tobago to the top of the Caribbean. And in 10 years, Stuart Young has crushed that. In 10 years, Galiota is suffering. In 10 years, Guayaguayari is suffering. In 10 years, Rio Claro is suffering. All because of Stuart Young. I want to tell you, brothers and sisters, for the last 10 years, and you've seen it, you saw it 2 days ago, Dragon Gas is dead. But let me tell you something. Dragon Gas being dead hurt Mayaro. Not because Dragon died, Let me tell you why it hurt Mayaro. Because for the past 10 years, Stuart Young and Keith Rowley ignored exploration of oil and gas in this country. For 10 years, Stuart Young and Keith Rowley ignored the oil companies of this country. We own oil and gas. We have oil and gas right up there. But for 10 years, they decided to go in the conga line with Maduro. But what that meant for you is, for that 10 years, no jobs in Galiota. For that 10 years, companies closed down in Mayaro. For that 10 years, companies throughout Rio Claro had less job opportunities to offer you. Stuart Young has crippled Mayaro, and that's why you must cripple him politically on April 28th. Brothers and sisters, tonight I want you to understand that in the last 10 years, Mayaro and this entire country has seen our energy sector crush. Stuart Young wants to stand and tell you that he has the plan. Let me tell you, oil production is not the lowest since 1949. In 10 years, Young has carried oil production to the lowest in over 50 years. When the People's Partnership left office, oil production was at 80,000 barrels of oil. 80,000. Under Stuart Young, it is not 49,000. But Young wants to come to tell you that in 3 years, he will carry it back up to 80,000. You couldn't do it in 10 years, but you want to do it in 3. Lie. That is lie, and you must reject them, brothers and sisters. I want to tell you, brothers and sisters, tonight, when we stand here to say that we have Mayaro in good hands, it's because the people, the UNC and our coalition partners, you see the OWTO here tonight. It is their sweat, their tears, and their toil that has built this energy sector, and together with the OWTU, we will work to rebuild it. Let me tell you something. The only successful oil and gas in this country in the past 10 years has been Angeline and Juniper, and that has been the People's Partnership work and Kamla Prasad Bisesa. And we'll take those same policies to restore Galiota. And when we restore Galiota and Mayaro, you will have jobs, you will have employment, you will have opportunity. My brothers and sisters, the leader of the opposition, her plan for this country is much more than the energy sector. Her plan is to make sure that the small companies that can benefit. Many of you in Mayaro have worked with these small service companies such as Cameron and Straycon and so on. And these small companies have suffered and struggled. But the leader of the opposition has said to you that she will create a new energy sector body. to represent the small companies. What does that mean for you, brothers and sisters? It means that once again, people in Mayaro will have jobs. Once again, money will flow into Mayaro on Rio Claro. That is why on the 28th, you must reject Stuart Young, brothers and sisters. But you see, the UNC's plan for Mayaro is more than energy. We will restore youth opportunities. Brothers and sisters, we have been walking for the past 2 weeks, and the number one cry is no opportunities for young people. Young people are suffering. They have no avenues to succeed. Brothers and sisters, tonight I want to tell you, the leader of the opposition and your next prime minister will create a Mayaro Technical Institute, which will teach young people in the avenues of petroleum technology, hospitality, agriculture and logistics. And this technical institute, brothers and sisters, will restore hope to the young people of Mayaro, because only a UNC government can restore hope. The UNC government has said that when we win, everybody will win. And that means the farmers will also win. A UNC government will deliver agricultural transformation from farm to export. We will use AI technology, we will use training, we will use incentives to ensure that Mayaro can become a food basket for Trinidad and Tobago and the region. So the farmers of Narvik and Kernaham, we ask you, stand with us because we have your back. Brothers and sisters, I want to borrow a term from the chairman of the corporation. He says Mayaro must become the Miami of the Caribbean. We have over 17 miles of pristine beaches. The plan put forward by the UNC is to ensure a transformation of the tourism sector in Mayaro, where our focus will be on boutique and eco-tourism. We will focus on creating green resorts, so Mayaro can now become a hub for tourism in the Caribbean, bringing again jobs and opportunity for you. You see, brothers and sisters, we have a plan. We have a plan. All they have is Bacchanal on the front page, but we have a plan. You know why we have a plan? Because for 10 years you have suffered. For 10 years you have endured the worst, and today we have to stand for you. Brothers and sisters, the UNC has a very holistic plan for Mayaro, but the people of this country have to understand, and the people of Mayaro have to understand, that this election is about leadership. You must choose between the self-centered leadership of Stuart Young versus the people-centered caring leadership of Kamla Prasad Bisesa. I want you to remember when Kamla Prasad Bisesa stood as your prime minister for 5 years, you had food cards, you had baby grants, you had laptops, you had schools, you had scholarships. Today, you have nothing. So when Young comes in this last minute to tell you he will do it, ask him why he didn't do it for 10 years. That is why you must reject them. Brothers and sisters, we have the OWT here tonight. I want to tell you, you cannot vote for Stuart Young, a man who has embarrassed this country on the regional level. For years, we have been the champion of energy in the Caribbean. All of a sudden, because of their lies on the refinery, because of their deceit on the refinery, this country, rich with our own oil and gas, has to buy oil, fuel oil from Jamaica, a country with no oil. That is the kind of embarrassment. Brothers and sisters, Guyana only recently started producing oil. Do you know they have surpassed Trinidad and Tobago within 5 years? That is the embarrassment of Stuart Young. Today, Stuart Young has no record of performance. When he was made National Security Minister, Energy Minister, he said, I will deal with illegal quarrying because I have the expertise and it's something I want to address. Today, illegal quarrying is still a problem. Stuart Young boasted to us back in 2018 that he went and deal with the Mitsubishi plant and saved this country money. All of a sudden last year, you hear NGC make a loss from that same thing. Stuart Young cannot perform, Young cannot deliver, and you must reject Young on April 28th. Brothers and sisters, tonight, I want to thank the people of Mayaro for their love in the past weeks. And that love is not for myself, but it's for the party, because you know a UNC government has your best interest. Today, I want to acknowledge some of the brilliant people of this constituency. I want you to raise your hands for Mr. Raymond Cozier. I want you to raise your hands for the members of the council. Very brilliant people. I want you to raise your hands for people like the Sudama family and the Monan family, because we stand on their shoulders, and the Ramsahai family, we stand on their shoulders to build this constituency. Today we tell you that when the UNC wins, everybody wins, because there will be no more home invasions in Mayaro, because we will give you stand your ground laws. We want to tell the businesses of Rio Claro, when the UNC wins, you will win with lower taxes, so you can employ more people in Mayaro and Rio Claro. Tonight I want to tell you, when the UNC wins, the elderly will be protected, because we will not attack your pension. Brothers and sisters, tonight the choice is clear. The only political leader to lead this country is the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa. I want us to ensure that come election night, Mayaro goes yellow, Mayaro goes UNC, and together we can rebuild Trinidad and Tobago, because when the UNC wins, everybody wins. Thank you very much.
Supreme. Them say yellow is the code. We going out the road. Are you feeling? I want to know me.
Please, another round of applause for the next MP for Mayaro, Mr. Nicholas Morris. Good job. At this time, I'm going to, well, first of all, let me say a pleasant good evening to JTM President, Comrade Roger, and executive members of the OWTU, and former Cuba South MP, Mr. Ruddranath Indar Singh. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to each and every one of you out there. And again, Mayaro, give yourself a round of applause, please. What a well put together meeting. Wonderful meeting. At this time, I'm going to bring on stage a man who is always at my side during this whole campaign season. We have been here chairing these meetings and bringing to you, of course, all the information that you need. With a few days to go, we ask that you stay laser focused. He did run a bit late because anybody would on that road. And I want to say that he has already started contacting individuals to find out who's the contractor and what utter rubbish they're doing. Please, put your hands together and welcome the man with a voice that can never be mistaken, Senator, the man, Anil Roberts!
UNC, Rio Claro, good evening. Oh Lord, I never ever see one woman confuse two big men so. Rowley and Stuart Richard Young don't know if they're all in or if they're all out. They don't know if it's a new chapter or old book. They go now in Kwezi, in Sawa Barataria, and the PNM put their prime minister to talk after their political leader, who was then the prime minister, and all because of Kamala. The PNM has lost their way, and so it should be, because evil may live on for a little while, but good will eventually conquer evil. And when good people from Trinidad and Tobago, of all races, all religions, all ethnicities, all lots of life come together in one unison to say UNC on the April 28th. That's what will bring hope to our country. I could tell you, oh, I must confess, you see, when you come through in Manzanilla, you come through to Rio Claro, and you breathe the fresh oxygen that different from Port of Spain and Diego Martin. We just breathe all kind of filth. Your brain does function better down here. You just get brighter down here. You just feel inspired down here. You just want to talk all night down here. Oh Lord, it's sweet, and it will be sweeter on April 28th, because when the UNC wins, everyone wins. But I must confess, over the last 9.5 years, when I'm in the trenches fighting, and I'm not afraid of to fight, I like to fight. I'm born to fight. But sometimes I got weary, and I was wondering if my people could understand how evil the PNM really is. Because one by one they disrespected us. They took our OWTU, the most powerful union in the history of the Caribbean, who have fought for people of all types, all lots of life. And they decimated a refinery, told them lies and hoodwinked them. I felt tired and weary. Then they told our workers at the PSA, 0.0101001%. And nothing for you. All of our public servants, as they stole money, lost files, were corrupt. Kamla Prasad Bisesa caught them lying, trying to take pension from old people, babies dying in the NICU. I wondered, where are my people? But over the last 5 weeks, I can say that my cup runneth over because I see my people. I see the PSA. I see the OWTU. I see the People Empowerment Party. I see the Congress of the People. I see my UNC. I see my citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And I know our future is bright, because the sun will surely rise on April 29 with a brand new Prime Minister, a woman who deserves a job, a woman who earned a job, a woman who we can respect, a woman who will govern with heart, compassion, love, and empathy. Kamla Prasad Bisesa will be the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. This race is not close. They try to keep it close. They control the mass media. The mass media portrays people who have humbugged the UNC, who have fought against from inside. They make them seem like they're heroes. The only time they make a front page of The Guardian is when they bad talk Kamla. They are MP for 10 years. They never do nothing. You never see them on no front page. But as soon as they bad talk Kamla, poof, they become stars. Because Kamla Prasad Bisesa is strong and powerful and has a track record that all of them envy. They could never outperform her. When she was Prime Minister, women benefited. When she was Prime Minister, workers benefited. 143 negotiations settled. Hilton workers were working on 2003 salaries. Kamla settled that. You had wage negotiation with WASA workers. Kamla settled that. You had tutor. Kamla settled that. You had postal workers. Kamla settled that. You had port workers. Kamla settled that. Kamla raised minimum wage when those technocrats in the ministry, like Vishnu, PNM, Dan Paul, I always knew he was a PNM. He rotten to the core, and I go tell all you some stories about him in Las Vegas, but not tonight. I go borrow that from Jaquana, not tonight. They came to Kamla Prasad Bisesa, and they said, the fuel subsidy is irresponsible spending. 4 times I was in the meeting, all 4 years. They came to her and said, the fuel subsidy is billions of dollars and it's irresponsible spending. Prime Minister, you must cut the fuel subsidy from the citizens. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, listen to their PowerPoint presentation for 47 minutes. The lights were turned on, and she asked the technocrats at the Ministry of Finance one simple question. She said, do you believe the resources of Trinidad and Tobago belong to the people of Trinidad and Tobago? They said, She said, no, I'm speaking clearly. I'm asking you, do you believe that the resources of Trinidad and Tobago belong to the people of Trinidad and Tobago? They could not answer, so Kamala answered for them. She said, and I quote, I believe that every bit of oil and gas, every bit of salt and sand, every bit of land and fruit belong to each and every citizen of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Therefore, said Kamala, it is my fervent belief that the fuel subsidy is the fairest distribution of resources that we can utilize. Because whether you own a car or not, it keeps the price of all goods down. When you go in the grocery, you could buy food cheaper. Your medicine is cheaper. Your labor, your hardware, your sand, your gravel is cheaper. If you travel in a maxi, it's cheaper. If you use a bus, it's cheaper. And therefore, whether you're a baby in mom's arms or you are 100 years old, the people benefit from the fuel subsidy. And what did Kamala do? She left your fuel subsidy there for you. The PNM came in with a little grinning Dwen who's now walking up and down Patna, walking in Diego Martin Northeast, skinning and grinning like a little short clown and laughing and said, I take the subsidy. I take it once. I take it twice. I take it 3 times. And they ain't riot yet. Maybe I'll take it again. Well, the people going to riot on April 28th across this country. The people going to riot with a finger from Manzanilla, from Mayaro, into Labre, Point Fortin, Claxton Bay, Matlot, Tunapuna, St. Joseph. Riot, riot, riot with your finger. Anyone who is not actually benefiting from being a PNM, meaning if you're not an MP or a councillor or you're on a board or you're getting a contract, so anybody other than about 65,000 people who vote for PNM had to be mad. You had to be mad. Because if you love an organization more than you love yourself, well, you're mad. If you love an organization more than you love your wife, well, you're mad. If you love an organization more than you love your children, well, you're mad. If you love an organization more than you love the safety and security of your family, well, you have to be mad. And my people not mad. So they should only get 65,000 votes. And the UNC and the coalition of interest should win seats that have historically been safe PNM seats. Do you know what an oxymoron that statement is? A safe PNM seat? Safe for what? Safe for them to abuse you? Safe for them to take your money? Safe for them to tax you? Safe for them to put you in pain? Safe for them for you to get robbed? Safe for them to make money and rent buildings? I say to you, the government of Trinidad and Tobago must serve the people. The government of Trinidad and Tobago must manage your resources for and behalf on you or for you, not in secret. Everything with PNM, with your money, your asset, is a secret. But the secret coming out to light. The dragon is dead, but the gas deal is not dead. The gas is still there. The gas is there to be negotiated with two brand new governments. The new government of Kamala Persad Bissesa and the coalition of interest, and the new president duly elected of Venezuela, Urrutia Gonzalez, not Maduro, not a drug trafficker, not a corrupt man, not a man that 8 million people run from. Wait, you know I say that and it now it me. Imagine 8 million human beings run from a country that they love, El Pueblo. They run from their casa, from their home, away from a man. And Rowley and Stuart Young love that man. Well, Marvelous Marvel like the man too. Keith Scotland like him bad too. Kareem Marcel fighting to like the man too. Oh, already know? All right. Not tonight. I come Rio Claro, not tonight. But what I would tell you is, anyone who would do business with a narco-terrorist trafficker, a money launderer, and a man who has breached every human rights regulation, disrespects labor, disrespects workers, disrespects human rights, something had to be wrong with you. So Kamala Persad Bissesa will negotiate with the legitimate government of Venezuela, duly elected, when democracy returns to Venezuela, because democracy shall return to Trinidad and Tobago on April 28th. And one of the men who's going to ensure that democracy lives and thrives is the man who's going to be the next MP for Tabaquite. Please welcome a man who's stronger than small pin, a man who's stronger than Paris, who don't take growth hormone, a bright individual, the next MP for Tabaquite, the Honorable Sean Sober.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad go win.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Coming down this evening here tonight, I think I've broken a number of records. I'll speak to you all privately about that some other time. But I must say, from this mammoth crowd in their thousands in Mayaro and in Rio Claro, it was well worth it. Good evening to our political leader, Mrs. Kamala Persad Bissesa of Senior Council. Good evening to all the members of the varying trade unions who are here, who are members of our coalition of interests. Good evening to the indomitable MP Ruddranath Indar Singh. I know that our deputy political leader, Jearlean John, is here as well. Special good evening to her. The incoming member of Parliament for Couva North. Special good evening to Chairman Raymond Cozier of the Maruga Corporation, Mayaro Corporation, sorry. And I was listening to him this evening. Special good evening to your incoming Member of Parliament, Mr. Wilfred Nicholas Morris. Now, this evening, I intend to spend a few minutes discussing some issues related to what has been going on in the campaign trail. And as I touch on those issues, it will deal with some of the matters that the PNM has raised, especially with respect to this type of campaign. And in their campaign, they have a lot of different persons going up, spewing the same garbage. So there's no new chapter, just the same fools on a different stage. One of them in particular, I saw him up in Komuto Manzanilla. And as I think about Komuto Manzanilla, I'm seeing directly in front of me our incoming MP for Komuto Manzanilla, Ms. Sao. Please give her a round of applause. I know that in her contribution and in her time in Kamuto Manzanilla, she'll demonstrate the real, true UNC steel that Kamuto Manzanilla has grown accustomed to, save and except for Dr. Ragbeer being there for some time, passing through like a vagrant. In any event, I know that many persons would have listened on April 10th. They would have heard from the current Prime Minister speaking about his plans for national security. And I, unfortunately, listened to it as if it were nails on a chalkboard. And I told myself, this man couldn't be serious. He spent the majority of his time speaking about plans about expanding police undercover operations, as if that is not something that is already occurring within Trinidad and Tobago. He spoke about providing them with some legislative framework and that he would provide them with other tools that they require to discharge their duties. When it is the same UNC administration that has been saying for the longest while the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service within this country has been starved. All national security apparatus, men and women fighting crimes and criminals within this country, have been starved of the necessary resources for them to do their jobs effectively. We have been saying that for the last 10 years, and he has come now, 2 weeks before election, to tell you about the very same thing. He spoke about simplifying the method to appoint a commissioner of police. Well, I could not believe that. This is the same PNM administration that went through lists and take back lists and run to president's house and talk to this one and talk to that one just to get rid of the same NTA leader, Gary Griffith, so that he couldn't be commissioner of police. If it wasn't a party that caused so much couture to choose a commissioner of police, they have the audacity and temerity to tell you here this evening, or on April 10th actually, that they're going to simplify the method. Well, it's easy, you know. Once they get rid of all of them, the method simplified. And that is all you have to do come April 28th. He went on to talk about implementation of some elite squad. That's his words. And use polygraph testing to ensure that they were the best and that they would receive the best tactical training, and that he would create some new rapid response joint task force with them. And I know, dealing with the police service, that there are several tactical units, specialized tactical units, already in operation within Trinidad and Tobago. Doing yeoman service, their names are kept out of the public. They want it that way so that they could have that integrity and they could have that relationship and could keep their undercover activities as best as intact as possible so that they can be successful. These things already exist. There's nothing new that he's speaking about. This rapid response task force, we have the E99, and that was a brainchild of Mr. Basdio Pandey, the E99 services. So nothing new from the PNM. And then he went on to talk about a joint task force with members of the TTPS, the Immigration and Customs. I almost fall off my chair. Back in June of 2019, Sleepy Fitzgerald Hines came to the public and said that he was going to create something similar to the ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency in the US. This is 6 years ago. There is no ICE-style unit operating within this country since he made that announcement in 2019. And you could bet your bottom dollar sure, the last cent in your jockey shorts, that after April 28th, if you take God out of your thoughts, there's going to be no unit like that at all coming to fruition under PNM administration. He also spoke about maintaining law enforcement vehicles and higher penalties for law enforcement infringements and increased protection for members of the TTPS. increased protection for members of the TTPS. Under Kamla Prasad Bisesa administration, if Dr. Munilal was here, but I know DPL John may very well address it, we ensured that members of the TTPS were properly well housed. We ensured that part of the HDC program allowed for members of this national security apparatus to have a particular safe space and haven they could call their own. And what the members of the TTPS are calling for is not any type of protection like that what he's speaking about. He's talking about hiring private security for the police, you know. Private security for the police. The police want their own guns to carry home. And Kamla Prasad Bisesa, in a responsible manner, will ensure that they get firearms to carry home in all the units within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. That is part of our manifesto plan. He went on to talk a little bit as well too about domestic violence and having persons trained within the service and elsewhere to deal with the victims of domestic violence. Now, let me tell you something. Domestic violence in this country is no joke. A lot of persons, victims of domestic violence, are very afraid to report the abuses they go through. I deal with them as a lawyer in my practice. We advocate for them. Many of us within this country as lawyers, we do it pro bono. And we know what the real problem in the system is. It is not about getting some trained guidance counselors to deal with them. There exist systems like that in place already. The Family Planning Association and within the Social Services Division. The biggest drawback in the domestic violence situation within this country is within the criminal justice system. When orders are obtained by victims of domestic violence, most of those times is a big word. It's a word that we use in the legal fraternity. Those orders are obtained ex parte, which means to say that the orders are obtained by a master or a magistrate. It's given to the domestic violence victim, but the abuser or the alleged perpetrator is not a part of the proceedings. And the failure in the system is service of the order. So if Young had a brain in his head, and if he had consulted with persons within the system, the lawyers, the magistrates, the masters, the police service themselves, social services and others, he would know that that is the biggest obstacle and stumbling block faced and yoked upon domestic violence individuals, abused individuals within this country. Because if your abuser is not aware that an order has been made against him or her, they might very well continue to abuse you. And that is the problem in the system, that the orders are not being served for whatever reason. I cast no blame on the police, but I'm saying that the orders are not served, and that is the real problem with domestic violence within this country. A UNC administration in our manifesto has committed to reviewing the system in its entirety, consulting with the stakeholders within the domestic violence situation, and coming up with a proper plan and solution to have the orders served within at least 7 to 14 hours after the matter has been heard, and that persons are well protected during that period to ensure that they are not victims or open to being victims of further assault by the alleged perpetrators. He also mentioned some stuff about community policing and youth intervention, which I am certain, sometimes I wonder, you know, I think the UNC is a very strong, stable party. We have a fantastic ship, and we have fantastic sailors on that ship, and we have a fantastic captain traversing the waters of this country. But somehow or the other, I think sometimes these PNM people, they would have a look at our manifesto, and they will go up on stage and they will read the very same things that we have here placed in the manifesto. And so when I look at the manifesto, there are things here in our manifesto that deals with community policing. There are things here within our manifesto that deals with youth intervention. There are things here within our manifesto that deals with reformations with respect to the criminal justice system, because we are talking about modernizing prisons and breaking up prisons into smaller organizations or smaller ones where inmates can be better dealt with and monitored. That's what we're talking about in our manifesto. We are speaking about utilizing intelligence, proper intelligence, to fight crime and criminality, instead of utilizing intelligence and paying SRPK to spy on political opponents. We've understood and appreciated that there are a lot of persons, when they are incarcerated, they leave single-parent homes. And we have given a commitment in our manifesto to provide support for those single parents within those homes. We've committed in our manifesto to revamp and refurbish the many magistrates' courts within this country that have been left dilapidated for the last 10 years by this PNM administration. We've committed to structure and expand psychological services and support to victims of crime within this country. We've committed as well to rebuild and rebuild anew, because we've spoken about it. To fight crime properly within this country, you need intelligence, yes, but you need information technology. You need technology from different areas as well too. And right now, we have one science center, forensic science center in the country. We have committed to build a new forensic science center within Trinidad and Tobago. And that is what will help fix and fight crime within this country. In terms of crime itself, we have several plans. We intend to pass stand your ground legislation. Too many people within this country have been victims of home invasion. I'm certain right here within Mayaro and Rio Claro, there are various stories of woe where persons have been victims of home invasions. We intend to create specific offenses as well too for home invasions within this country. We intend as well, as we move forward, to integrate the ankle monitoring system and to revamp it, because in one of our meetings we were consulted with members of the protective service who've indicated to us that is have man who's been taking off the electronic monitoring system, putting it on the dog or the cat inside the house and running around there and committing crime. And the police, unfortunately, because of the inferior electronic monitoring systems that the government brought into this country, they cannot pick up when the system has been tampered with. We intend to revamp that and bring world-class electronic monitoring systems that can be used across the board in the fight against crime. We intend, in terms of our manifesto as well too, to ensure that our CCTV cameras, our own, not the ones that the bandits and them putting up all over this country, that apparently nobody have an idea about. We intend to revamp that system and ensure that our communities are safe, secure, and are monitored by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service within this country. That is how you fight crime. We also intend to standardize and acquire fit-for-purpose vehicles for our Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. That is how you fight crime. Resource the men and women, the security apparatus that go out there on a daily basis to protect you, to protect your families, your children, your school children when they are away from you. Resource them, and all of that would have been birthed from consultation, an expansive consultative process that the UNC has undertaken. And it is something that has been building for quite some time before we've put it together in something that we think is digestible for you, the members of the public, and something most importantly we think will work for Trinidad and Tobago. We in the UNC, it has been proven time and time again, we know how to deal with crime. Time and time again, under UNC administration, crime would have reached an all-time low. It is no surprise, and I warn you before I close here this evening, it is no surprise that over the last 10 years, we would have recorded the most murderous years within the history of Trinidad and Tobago under PNM administration. Stuart Young would have been Minister of National Security for one of those periods. Stuart Young would have been a member of the National Security Council, responsible for dealing with crime and criminality within this country during the 10 years of that PNM administration and its tenure. It is important for you to remember that when you listen to the foolishness they spew. And it is important for you to remember that when you enter that election box come April 28th. I call upon all of you here in Mayaro, Rio Claro, across Trinidad and Tobago, get out there and support the UNC and understand our policies as they are placed in our manifesto, those that have been given to you, those that are online, those that are on our website. Please have a read and understand them. And understand, most importantly, when the UNC wins, everybody wins. Mayaro, let me hear you. When the UNC wins, everybody wins. When the UNC wins, everybody wins. Thank you very much.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace. Vote for love. Vote for hope. Vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC.
Please, another round of applause for the UNC candidate and next MP for Tabakit, Sean Sobers. Let me make mention, of course, Mr. Barry Patharath. Pleasant good evening to you. Our UNC candidate for Couva South. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we call on stage a lady who is known for her dynamic firebrand, a senator representing our great party in the upper house, and she fought the Lahokatal Talpara constituency for us in 2020. She has served as deputy political leader since 2017. She's a chartered accountant, certified professional accountant, and certified management accountant. And she's one lady that she knows exactly how to get things done. UNC family, Mayaro, please put your hands together and welcome on stage UNC Deputy Political Leader and Senator Jearlean John.
Big man said come, when Selassie I call you, you must come. Leave out on the stomach, come. Hurry up and come, hurry up and come, hurry up and come, cause Babylon come. Hurry up and come, hurry up and come. Hurry up and come, cause Babylon done. I home is not in Babylon.
Good evening to the incoming Prime Minister, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, and Dr. Bisesa. Fellow candidates, President of the OWTU, Mr. Anson Roger, and former President of the PSA, Mr. Leroy Batiste. See Mr. MP Ruddranath Indar Singh is here, Mr. Jack Warner is here. Activists, supporters, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago locked on the various media, our honorable political leader and our Indian brothers and sisters are today attending Hanuman Jayanti observances at the various temples. To them I say, Jai Jai Hanuman. I want to thank outgoing MP of Mayaro, Mr. Rushton Parry, for his service. Thank you so much. Trinidad and Tobago, Mayaro. Welcome to the biggest, baddest, boldest political party in the Caribbean, the United National Congress. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming out in your thousands. UNC, something is happening. You know something is happening. Everywhere you go, people are telling you something is happening. And they're also telling you yellow is the code. The most unlikely people. The most unlikely people are telling you yellow is the code. Everywhere you go, you are hearing the same thing. We are fed up of the PNM and we want change. We want change, we must have change. So you know the PNM could do what they want. They could say what they want. They could call us what they want. I tell them as long as they call us collect. Let them do whatever they want. Some free advice to the PNM. The people are fed up of your lies. The people are sick of your vulgarity and nastiness. The people who voted for you over and over and over, you have no solution for them today. All you are telling them is that you're cook. That is what they have to take because of your cruelty, your backwardness, and your laziness. Now in full panic mode, Stuart Young closed his new chapter. He just opened the new chapter, you know. He closed it, and he bring back old chapter Rowley last night. That is a spectacular fail. I've never seen anything like that. Never seen anything like that. In the history of politics, we have never seen anything like that. The outgoing Prime Minister handed over the baton to his incoming, and he has to come back to bail out water from the the boat. You understand? And he out there talking of stuff foolishness about UNC and who attending UNC meetings. Stuart Young, mind your own damn business to pass and out of place. Who in UNC business? In UNC business? While you were busy, mind your own business. While you were busy making the rich richer, we were working with the people. We were working with the ground. We were working with Ansel Roger. We were working with Mr. Leroy Batiste. We were working with ordinary man and woman. That is what we were doing. We work with people, the ordinary man and woman on the streets, because we are not floating somewhere out there. So this guy is totally out of touch. So instead of cussing the UNC, he should be arguing and cussing his advisors and his strategists, because I don't know a man who behind the back, they're calling Stuart Young behind the back small pin. How you could sign off? How can you sign off on a campaign ad called All In? How does that make sense? It makes no sense to me. They find that wasn't enough last week. They again actually they're in total meltdown mode. So last week they go on and they decided changing the name of their slogan. What they come up with? Red, ready, and responsible. That sounds like something for family planning. I don't know what. These are family planning. That can't be. These people are not real. They can't be normal. Make this make sense. You understand? No. Man, this only the PNM. You see what is happening to him? All the time. He's sitting in CIC, bullying people. Rowley haven't given him what he don't deserve. Minister of National Security, failed. Minister of Energy, failed. And want to now give him Prime Minister by selection. Bypass all the rules in the PNM. But you know what? He out here in the streets. He out here in Main Street trying to Tobago. And he had to jar up with Kamla Prasad Nisesa. Let him mind his own damn business. He's not in Kamla's class. He's now finding out that he's not in Kamla's class. So Rowley knows Stuart Young was not worthy of the opportunity he has been given. And over again, not one achievement, only nonsense, lies and rubbish. And that is why, as far as I'm concerned, I am not going to talk too much policy, because I cannot justify their nonsense with sense. They make no sense. If after 10 years and $5 billion, today you know all the answers, well then we should have fired them in 2020. We'd have been better off. They now know the answers. All the time they have no answers. They have achieved nothing. They have given us nothing more than toil and trouble. Everything trending in the wrong direction, and they have the temerity to come and ask us for another term. That to me is nonsense. That makes absolutely no sense. These people need to wheel and come again. Mayor, you know the pain we feel. We have suffered over the last 10 years, but the communities that have voted for the PNM over and over again, over the last six decades, have probably suffered the most. That is how they have replayed their loyalty, their faith, their commitment, and their love. The PNM government looked on and watched young mothers, old mothers, middle-aged mothers carry the body of sometimes their headless son. Just shut off. It means nothing for them. I don't want to go in what happened in the papers today because I might say too much. So let me stay away from that. Bodies that can only be identified by the clothes and sneakers of these young men and women. Further, these mothers have to solicit assistance to bury these young sons and daughters. That meant nothing to Stuart Young. I remember recently, he brags now that he's from the street, Henry Street. But right then in our place next to his office, 5 men were murdered in one afternoon. I saw it on social media. I called Twiggy. I said, Twiggy, what is happening down on your side? There's a murder. She said, Jearlean, is not a murder, it's a massacre. She started to cry. Stuart Young never went. He never went. Next door to where he is. And now he wants to tell us, he wants to tell UNC, never went. A man with no empathy, who don't care. He's not like us. So he can't tell me or tell Kamala or tell any one of us, tell the UNC who should be in the meeting. Our House of the Rising Sun is open to all. What is happening? We have a credible message backed by delivery. We are credible. So when we say, when UNC wins, you win. We mean you win. We mean you win. When UNC wins, everybody wins. You believe it. You believe it to be true. You believe it to your core. And you know it is true. We don't mess about. We don't mess about. We built 106 schools because we believe education is important. That a child can go as far as their ambition, as aspiration will take them. Good schools. We build health centers. We had health centers opening for hours. I remember Kamala Prasad as Prime Minister walking in a building that Mr. Manning had constructed as a base building. And she said, too many people are suffering here. Convert that into a hospital. I want it in 18 months. And we did that work. And you know what? We built a 216-bed tower for the people. That is what UNC does. They build a building, put a cross on it, and tell us it's a hospital. It is not a hospital. It's a base building, still to be outfitted. And I'm telling you, it will take a united national Congress government to go in there and fix it. We will open it. We know to open a hospital. The same way we build this children's hospital. 80 beds for children, 150 for mothers, for adults, with a burn unit for the people of Point Lisas. We build with sense. We build from end to end. We build in the interest of the people and for the people to use. Not what PNM is doing. We used to give out 100 keys every week. That ain't easy. When you have that kind of turnover, you know what happened? Everybody working in good paying jobs. In good paying jobs. People learn a skill and they get rewarded for that. That is what the UNC does. Now you have people who can't get jobs, people who have degrees working in CPEP, and you know what they do? When they see them in the UNC meeting, they fire them. And Alwari tell them, it's true, and Alwari tell them, let's go to court. They are cruel, they are wicked, they are bad, and we must vote them out. We must vote out the PNM. They're cruel to people, their own people. They shunt them up in buses. You know, that is why they're looking. I wonder who by the UNC. Why they're looking so diverse. Because when you were grinding everybody, hating everybody, spitting up everybody, looking down on everybody, UNC was lifting them up. We were saying that in the House of the Rising Sun, you have a place. And when we win on the 28th, you will win. You will win. And you believe it. So, after 10 years, how will Stuart Young and Rowley fix it? They tell you, with your votes, they were only there to ensure that the rich gets richer, whilst you cannot breathe, you cannot catch a break. Just as the 5 divers, they have no answer to joblessness. Do they have an answer to joblessness in Miaro? Do they have an answer to deal with inequity in Miaro? What about Forex that Scotia tell you just now we're getting only $100? What about that? Do they have an answer? What about your youths? PNM have an answer for the youths? Or you're not answering me. Do they have an answer for the youths? Yo. Are there any answers from the PNM for crime, for your safety, for security? But every night they end up on the platform, they're only cussing the UNC. But I have a message for all of these people, these cussbirds. The UNC doesn't get into spitting competition with tongues. Go and tell us what you have done for 10 years. That's what we want to know. We want accountability. We want accountability. You stay there with your nastiness. We're not interested. We are not interested in that. We want accountability. $500 billion and nothing to show. That is your record. Zero. And you could cuss how you want. You could cuss up. You could cuss down. We don't care who God bless. No man curse. And on the 28th of April, we shall be victorious. Unlike Kamla Prasad Bisesa, this man has no empathy for people. He don't care. They are just pawns in his game, the selfish game. For 10 years, our people hope that the PNM government will change course, feel their pain, understand their everyday struggles. Mothers who eat one meal just so their children can eat two. Children who, when they receive this school feeding program, they get the lunches. They eat a half and they take the other half home for their siblings. Mothers who have to decide, schedule which child goes to school on which day. Mothers who, for lack of funds, don't know how they're going to eat. When they get this salary, they could buy food for 2 weeks, and they don't know, they're on their knees praying for the next 2 weeks that somebody, anybody will feel the pain. Somebody, they are there saying, they are there praying. You know the Baptists will say, somebody, Lord, help me, Lord. They are there praying desperately for somebody to show up. They don't know that the PNM is not like us. They are not like us. They are different people. They don't care about the people. So now that Stuart Young realized that $500 could only buy $200 worth of goods, I say good luck with that, my friend. You understand? I've said enough on that. But you know, when a good Samaritan invited citizens a couple of years ago to come for hampers, and they were there, for me, for Trinidad and Tobago, it was embarrassing with the number of people who turned up. What did the PNM government minister say? They are not needy, they are greedy. You don't forget these things. People don't, sometimes people learn, I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you have done, but people will not forget the way you make them feel. And PNM has made us feel as if we are worth nothing. And we are going to vote them out. We are going to vote them out. So that's the fundamental difference. That's the fundamental difference. The huge crowds you see at the UNC meeting, they remember from 2010 to 2015 how a UNC government made them feel. That is what it is. And you are coming out in your thousands because of that. Because you remember. And what happened? You want it again. And on the 28th of April, you have a chance. You have a chance. And don't mess this up. Do not mess this up. Go out. Make sure, don't say, all of you looking at me and giving me a high five. I don't want no high five from anybody. All I want to say is this. I want your voting finger. All right? Don't give me no high five. We are winners yet. You win an election on election day. And you know they know how to wrap up money in t-shirt. We have videos of these things. You know they have honest Indian who know much money in carry box. They have all that. They may using him, but we using whomever. People, please, be focused. Be focused on this. Everybody bring somebody to the polling booth on election day to ensure that there's a great victory. There's a great victory. People remember, as I said before, the 100 keys handed out every week and felt they had a chance. I've seen people in Dr. Munilal's crying like babies after waiting for 40 years. PNM has shown us who they are, and we should believe them. They exist to ensure the richest to get richer. It is reported, according to data up to March 2025, that Mr. Young recused himself 137 times from the cabinet. Now, you know what that means? It means there's an implicit conflict or an obvious conflict. Now you tell me, you think any of those recusals benefited anybody from Beverly Hills in Laventille? You think it benefited anybody from Belmont? Tell me, you think it benefited Sealots? Her place right next to his office? No, not Heliard for sure. These folks are condemned and confined to a life of neglect. stigmatization, lack. You think they don't want anything? Do you really believe they have no aspiration for themselves and their children? Prior to me becoming the managing director of the Housing Development Corporation many years ago, they told me that there was a six apartment building constructed in Helyard in Betham. So I went to visit it in advance of the allocation. When I went, the door to the apartment building was open. It had been sitting there for 12 months. I went inside. Every sink was there. Every door was there. Every toilet was there. Every toilet handle was there. Everything was there, intact, in her place. A place that they have condemned to nothing. But these people are more godly than many of us. They are their brother's keeper. Many of them would not have benefited from those 6 units because it's only 6. But yet, they believed in the principle, do unto others. They kept that building safe. Do you think they don't deserve a chance from the PNM government they have been voting in for over 60 years? Do they deserve a chance? And I'm telling them to vote for the UNC on the 28th of April. Vote resoundingly and your lives will be transformed. They are worthy. So the UNC agenda for change is change for all. Every single citizen. That is why you at every meeting in your thousands, you know it is true that when the UNC wins, everybody wins. A back-to-basic agenda that focuses on inter alia, personal security, jobs opportunities, a responsive public service, quality health care in public hospitals, a roof over your head. I would have told you quite a few times, the leader of the United National Congress believes that a roof over your head is not a benefit, it's not a price to give out, but it is a right. She calls it you having a stake in your country. Do you think someone who comes from that value system would build house? You think Kamala will build house? She will build houses. She will. Every school should become a prestige school. Do we think Dr. Dowlett should be given an opportunity to do that? To transform every school? Speedier justice, quality supplies for public works, a relevant education product, and a cultural revolution, and a national attitudinal shift. The United National Congress in government from 2010 to 2015 adopted a policy of balanced development. And it showed up down here in Miaro. It showed up in that port that we had constructed, phase 1. The PNM come there and know what to do with it. So it's underutilized. Can you imagine if Kamla Prasad Bisasa had been coming for the last 10 years? Phase 2 would have been built. The business from Guyana would have been coming here. Miaro would have been booming. But unfortunately, the wrong government was in office. Do not make that mistake on the 28th of April, please. New investments in highway. I reiterate what she said then. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisasa stated during her term that the San Fernando to Miaro Highway remains a key investment for us to fully create the energy corridor in the south, where for decades a great deal of our energy wealth has been extracted and or generated. By providing a strong link between the marine operations in the southeast and the industrial operations in the southwest, we will be securing energy for today and for future generations with the energy corridor. Miaro, do you think those are jobs she's talking about? Do you think those are jobs? Do you think those are good jobs? Good paying jobs? Yes, Miaro will boom. Right here, I was talking about the port. That phase 1 of this ultra modern port, new port was constructed. The development of the port was to support the expansion of exploration and production of oil and gas, thereby contributing to the generation of revenue by the country. That is vision. What you need today is a visionary leader, somebody who will be bold, who will say, take my hand and let us go. Not have one egg in the basket. You go on to Venezuela, winding up, winding down, and we told you so. We were not against the Dragon gas deal. How could we? But we were saying, it cannot be that. It can't be all or nothing. We had to have more ideas in terms of culture, in terms of IT. We have to, what about the steel band? We have people we like to dance, manufacturing. Miaro is part of the agricultural belt. So many things, sun, sea. housing, tourism, just in, you're talking about Rio Claro, Point Galeota, Miaro, just in this belt. People will be migrating out of Port of Spain and San Fernando to come to set up shop in a booming Miaro. And that is what you want, because then the shops will sell more, the hardware will sell more, the pharmacy will sell more, and that is the kind of trickle-down effect we like. We don't want the rich man table and you here with your mouth open and nothing is coming. We believe that a rising tide raises every boat. That is what the UNC believes in, creating opportunity for all. So, Miaro, brothers and sisters, while they engage in tired rhetoric and a failed 10 years, the UNC is ready to transition to government. We are ready. As you can see, the team to tackle the number one problem, crime, is in place with our crime fighters. Not behind the desk stalkers, workers, people when they walk the earth, they shake, real big strong man like in Alexander and others. The team to deal with education and the transformation to a curriculum and student development that synchronizes with the future global needs is in place, and our policies have been announced. You saw Bill Gates saying, in 10 years, there are many jobs that we are going to lose. When Kamla Prasad Bisesa started to give a child a laptop, and the troglodyte Rowley took it away, he took away our children's future. We need to get Kamla back in office so our children could catch up. They are now behind. They were ahead then. The team to increase the housing stock and reform processes to speed up development, especially in the housing sector, is a place, and our policy of one-stop approvals has been announced. The team to create a healthier population and to make healthcare more easily accessible is in place. The reconstruction of the agricultural sector to ensure food security in an uncertain future, we don't have it. The key issues of the people will form the core of governance by the United National Congress government. The PNM governance that has destroyed the hopes of our people will be replaced on April 28th. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, we will be free at last. On April 28th. People will know what it is and experience what it's like to live in a developed society. We will eradicate and remove the term developing and third world from our national vocabulary and replace it with a new pride and a new conviction in ourselves, ready to march into a future of prosperity, security, and confidence. We are ready to govern, UNC. We are ready to govern. But more than this, we know how to govern. When we do things, it's well done. So we are ready to govern in the interest of the people. We know that the happiness of our people is the true goal of governance and equity. And just as Miaro is known for its longest beach in Trinidad and Tobago, your walk to freedom has taken 10 years. Some people say 10 years with hard labor. At the moment, I'll paraphrase Martin Luther King. He said, "Then I come to say to you this evening, however difficult the moment, however frustrating the hour, it will not be long. Not long, how long? No lie can live forever. Not long, how long? The PNM will reap what they have sown. How long? Not long, because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And over 5,000 people were murdered, many of them innocently. They must get justice." So, on April 28, 2025, that's your Freedom Day. And the people of Miaro will vote resoundingly for Nicholas Morris and for peace, bread, and justice. The people of Sangre Grande will vote for justice. The people of Maluga Tableland will vote for justice. The people of San Fernando West will vote for justice. People, it will not be easy. The PNM will not make it easy. You hear what they're getting on, you know. They're going crazy. They know the poll is telling them what it's telling them. And as a matter of fact, I heard Rowley polls bad enough as an individual. But I heard Stuart Young is 8 points below Rowley. He below the white line in the road. What are going with that? Only give it up now. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up. What are going with that? They destroy the PNM. So never mind how enthusiastic crowds. Never mind how much you want your freedom. Never mind how much you want to take back your country. The price of freedom, not free. You have to do something. Do something. Not anything. You have to go to the polls on the 28th of April, 2025. Because it is Freedom Day. Become a driver for freedom. Become a street captain for freedom. Organize your family to vote for freedom. Organize a call center tonight with your friends for freedom. Get your friends to the polls on the 28th of April for freedom. Trinidad and Tobago, we can do this. We, UNC, can keep hope alive because we know everybody wants to share in this vision that when UNC wins, everybody wins. Thank you.
Big man said, come. When Selassie I call you, you must come. Leave out and just come and come. Hurry up and come.
UNC family, please, another round of applause for our deputy political leader and the next MP for Couva North, Ms. Jearlean John. Let me acknowledge the presence of former Minister, Mr. Jack Austin Warner. Pleasant good evening, sir. And he has been out there working hard with his candidate, Dr. Natalie Chaitan Maharaj, and she definitely is putting down a lot of work in the constituency. So hats off to you, Mr. Warner, and your entire team, and all the support teams out there that are always ready to do the walkabouts and support our candidates. Give them a round of applause, please. UNC family, Mayaro, at this time we bring you a gentleman who is internationally acclaimed. He has been, of course, been out there performing regionally and internationally. He's a son of the soil here of Mayaro. Please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Orlando Octave.
Rio Claro! Rio Claro! Mayaro! If UNC win, everybody what? If UNC win, everybody what? John! 10 years we suffer, can't take it no longer. Blood run like water. Can't take it no longer. Wave the flag down, wave the flag down. Hey, time to vote them out now. Time to vote them out now. When UNC win, everybody wins. What you say? When UNC win, everybody wins. Yeah, man. And we vote in UNC. Oh, everybody wins. Yes, everybody. Wave the flag. Everybody. Listen. UNC vote. Everybody know that yellow is the code. More votes, so you know we got to vote. With you and that six, so it not UNC. We vote in UNC. What you say? UNC. From Rio Claro. Run the total paro, come out in your number. Yellow is the order. Them can bribe me with jersey and number. Better economy for US currency. Where the flag them? Hey, and don't look for the crime rate. We want a drop. UNC we take into the top. UNC. Everybody. Pull up. UNC wins. Everybody wins. When UNC wins. When UNC wins, when UNC wins, when UNC wins, I can, hold on, pull up. Now give a round of applause for our candidates. Nicholas, big up yourself. My brother, you're going stronger, boy. And this is the time we need change in Trinidad and Tobago. We fed up with the crime rate. We fed up with the taxes. We fed up being oppressed. This government hold the citizens ransom. We need our change. All who say we need our change. All who say we need our change. Give me the next one. Time to get them out. The time is now. Time to vote them out. What you say? Man, enough is enough. 10 years we had it rough. PNM is drought. They take food out we mouth. And we vote in UNC. Dip your finger. UNC. We vote in UNC. Vote for Camilla, better country. And we vote in UNC. Dip your finger. UNC. And we vote in UNC. Vote for Camilla. Not to get rid of Rowley. Dip your finger. Good business are in charge. The People's Party. PNM and constitution for too long, and we want back we country. With the fake oil, the country spoil. Rowley must go. Pull up. Close. We glad Rowley gone. We glad he gone, right? The next one I don't go now, right? Yellow is the war. Yellow is the war. When UNC win, everybody wins. When UNC win. When UNC win. Thank you, love you, we go.
Supreme say yellow is the code. We
Yes.
going out the road.
Round of applause again for Orlando Octave. Thank you, Orlando. Well, folks, here's where we wish you a safe night. And of course, please stay ready to get the schedule of the other meetings that will be taking place. Let me say good night to legal advisor Brian Big. Good night to you, Brian. Great to see you here. Great for coming. Be safe on the roads, folks. Remember, we only have about 15 days to go. All right. We're going to end here on the song for the...
Hi, my name is Hannah Henry, and at the age of 12 years old, I passed for Bishop Anstey High School. At the time, I didn't have access to a laptop, and my mom couldn't afford it. But thankfully to the UNC government, I was able to have access to one, and it was so much easier to not have to worry about sending in my assignments on time. And I'm so grateful. Thanks, Auntie Cams. When UNC wins, everybody wins.
I retired in 2002. When I retired, my pension was $1,000 from NIS. When Mr. Bissessa came into power in 2010, my pension rose to $3,000. Now I'm hearing PNM say, if you have money saved, they could take away your pension. I can't wait to vote UNC again. When UNC wins, senior citizens like myself win.
My son Josiah, when he was born, he was diagnosed with a life-threatening disease. And a friend told me about the Children's Life Fund. Thanks to Kamala and the UNC government for making it happen. He was given a second chance in life, and now he's in Form 5 and he's able to sit CXC. Take it from me, when UNC wins, everybody wins.